Hannah from stephaniesfacepainting.com, and I'm super excited today to be doing my very first tutorial. I've chosen to do one of my favorite things to paint. So today I'll be doing a fantasy cat using a rainbow cake that I made yesterday using mostly global colors, which I have just discovered recently and absolutely love them for their vibrancy. So let's get started. The first thing that you want to do is load up your brush really well. And the key for the one-stroke face painting is not too much water, but not too dry either. So load up the brush. And what you want to do is push your brush bristles against the paint and really dig into the paint here and going back and forth, loading up all the bristles all the way down. So once you see that it's loaded really well, what you can do is you could test it on your arm, and then you could see that the colors go on really well. You're ready to go. Okay, so we're going to start in the middle here. Press down, turn to a point, pivot, and stop. And then we're going to do another one over here. And I'm going to flip the brush so that the white is on the outside, leaving a space for the other color. So you're going to push down, drag your brush, come to a point. Load up a little bit more. Okay, we're going to work on the other color now. So same thing, load up your brush. This time I'm going to be working with the blue, the yellow, and the white. So remember to load really well. Back and forth, back and forth. And if you need to grab a little bit more water, you can do so. Just remember not to have it too wet or all the colors are going to all bleed together and you're just going to have mud. Okay, so we're going to put this color in the middle of this spot here with the white on the other side. So we're going to press down and come to a point. And we're going to do it on the other side as well. Good. So while that's drying, we're going to work on the eyes. So we're going to go and reload the pinks and the whites. And we're going to work on the eyes of the cat. Okay. So what I'd like to do here is make sure you have the pink on the outside of the brush. We're going to lead with the pink. And I like to start a little bit here and then bring it down. Push up. And then come up to a tip. Okay, so we're going to continue here with the pink on the outside. Swivel, swivel, swivel. Bring it in. And one more time. Swivel, swivel, swivel. And bring it in. And you can just fix your eye at the edge of the brush there, like that. And if you want to go over to blend it in a little bit better, you can. There. And now we're going to go and do the other side of the eye. And here we go again. Make sure you lead with the pink on the outside. Close your eye. Like to start a little bit higher up. Blend the colors well. Go in. Press. 45-degree angle. Push up. Come to a point. Reload your paint. Make sure you're always working with the pink on the outside. Drag your brush, turn, 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 bring it in. Turn, 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 bring it in. Oh, that one missed, so we're going to go back and go over it. And one more time. There we go. So, we want to have these wipes handy for any little mistakes you make. They're great erasers, I love them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work underneath the eye. So we're going to load up the brush, with the other color, with the blue and the yellow. And same idea, make sure you load the brushes really well. And this time we're going to lead with the blue on the outside. So we're going to start at the corner of the eye right over here. And you're going to drag your brush, push it down, and bring it in. Wiggle, 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 bring it in. Wiggle, 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 bring it in. Wiggle, 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 bring it in. And one more time. And getting a little bit smaller as you get into the eye. And then you can just fill in some of those spots that are missing with your paint, like so. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Load up. Blue on the outside. Start at the corner of the eye. Put your brush down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Bring it in. And if you need to fill it in, just use the back of the brush, like so. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to load up with some white paint, and I'm using a Low Cornell 7000 C series, and we're just going to load it up with some white, and we're going to work on some teardrops now. So make sure you load up your brush really well, get all the paint worked into there, and what we're going to do is we're going to do some teardrops here. So where the colors meet, we're going to do a teardrop. So push down and come up. And then we're going to do one over here, push down, come to a tip. Another one over here. And on the other side. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to connect some of these teardrops and add some little whimsical lines in here. So from this one we're going to press down and come down. And this one, come down. This one we can come down here like this and drag it down some more. Make them all different shapes and sizes just to keep it interesting. And then here we can come down and come to a tip. And now what we're going to do is just add some little dots sporadically all over the place. So where there's dark spaces here, we can add just little dots of varying sizes. So you want to make sure that you start with the darker, the bigger dots at the top, coming to smaller ones. Okay, but now what we're going to do is we're going to outline the eyes. So we're going to start at the corner of the eye here. Press down, push, come to a tip. And then you're going to press and wiggle and make it really fine. Press and wiggle. Press and wiggle and bring it in. And same thing from underneath. I'm going to start thin, press, bring it in. Continue here, press, wiggle, wiggle, bring it in. Press, wiggle, wiggle, bring it in ever so slowly, just until you get there. And now we're going to do the other side. Same thing on the other side. Start at the tip, press down, come to a fine point. And what you can do here, we'll just add some white to join it together. Right over here, I like to do this. Just a little bit of white. And then you can join it here. And don't worry if it's, you can just blend it in with your finger a little bit. There. And same thing on the other side. There we go. Now we're going to work on the muzzle. So you'll want to spray your sponge. I use a sponge for the muzzle. Spray it really well. And then load up your cake. Really work it in. You don't want it too wet because then it'll just not go on very nicely. So you really want to work the paint into the sponge. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to just sponge over the area of your mouth, keeping in mind that you want to stay from your nostrils to the tip of your mouth, around that area. There, that looks about good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an angled brush like this and blend it in with the pink colors, leading with the pink. So I'm going to have the dark pink on the tip of the angled brush. There we go, load it up really well. And what you're going to do is we're just going to put the brush down flat, turn the brush, and drag it up. As so. Load it up again and do it on the other side. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a round number 2 Lowell Cornell, and I'm going to do the muzzle. I'm going to outline it. Instead of using the traditional black, which I usually do, I'm going to use this dark berry color here. Okay. So what you want to do, load up your brush really well, press it down flat, and then you're going to bring it up. And do the same on the other side. Then we're going to go back and you're going to put your brush down and then you're going to press and bring it in. Press, flick it in. And make sure when you're doing the muzzle that all of these lines point towards the middle. You don't want them pointing in all different directions. There we go. And now we're going to do the nose. We're going to do the nose in the same color. Just going to load it up over here. Over here. There. What I like to do also is I use this Filbert brush right here. It's from La Corneille. And what it does is I just drag the color of the nose up. It just softens it. It's pretty much a dry brush. And you're just lifting up the paint that's already been put on there. You can do the same on the muzzle. Now we're going to do the bottom lip. And so we're going to do the same color as the outline. So here we go. Now, usually when I'm painting at a party, I'll never use a brush. I'll always use a Q-tip. But for today's tutorial, I think it's all right. There we go. And while you have this color on your brush, what I like to do is go up over here and then make some shadows, create some depth. where the pink is. So just go around it, outline it, and it'll just create some extra layering. We could add some little dots over here. Just make sure you keep them varying in sizes. And the last thing, if you'd like to do, teeth. So if you want to add teeth to your cat, just do them in the corner of your mouth over here. And you want to make sure that your teeth are small. And they're just in the corner of your mouth. And then you can outline it, if you like, with a very thin brush. And then if you also like, you can add some little dots to your muzzle. And we're just about done. And for a last touch, we're going to add these stars, which I love this tap stencil. It's one of my favorites. I use it all the time. And I use it with these little pouncer brushes, sponges actually, that I found at my local craft store. And they fit on your finger, and they are just fabulous. Love them. So what I do is I spray my cake. Here, I spray my cake with a bottle of water with a spray. And then I put my pouncer into it, like so, until it has enough paint on it, and you don't want it too wet. The key to this is having it just filled with enough paint, but that it's not wet, because if it's too wet, then it'll bleed right through your stencil. So then you're going to position your stencil. I'm going to put some stars right over here. You hold it here. And then you just pounce up and down on your stencil, like so. And they give awesome results. And then we can add some more right over here. There. And maybe we can add some on the top. Let's have a look. So load up again. Whoops. Load up your pouncer really well, and make sure you're always using the same side of the stencil, because if you accidentally put it on the reversed, you'll have a mess on your forehead. So we could put a couple of stars, say right over here. And if you wanted to add a few more, you could add a couple more. There we go. And just to even it off on the other side, we can add a few to the other side right over here in this empty spot. There. And then the last thing you can do is put some sparkles on your lips. So re-wet your brush so that the paint is wet. And then take your sparkles put them on your lower lip like that. And there you go, your fantasy cat. Thanks everybody. See you next time.